Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife and welcome back to our Sunday cooking videos. We're excited about this one.
Yes.
Because this is one of our favorite non-keto meals turned keto.
Yes.
We love Pad Thai.
Yes.
Chicken Pad Thai is like one of our go-to meals.
Good. Yeah.
And one of the problems with Pad Thai, one of the problems with like a lot of Asian foods that we have not tried is that some of the sauces are like sugary and sweet.
The sauces are usually pretty high in like carbs with sugars and whatever, and then they're usually rice or noodle based.
And so we have a keto Pad Thai recipe that our friend Auburn sent to us or gave to us when she was here. And it's been on our list to want to try, and gosh darn it, we're craving Pad Thai.
Yeah.
So tonight, we're giving it a try, and fingers crossed it actually turns out.
This actually looks like a pretty simple recipe, so we're going to show you the ingredients.
So here's everything we are going to need. We kind of have it divided up into two things. We have like the sauce and then like the dish itself. So over here for the sauce, we have fish sauce, we have coconut aminos, we have garlic, almond butter, and then we have some monk fruit sweetener. Now in the recipe this says that a sweetener is optional. We're gonna use it though because Pad Thai has like a natural, like a sweetness to it, and we feel like it should have that. Now, the recipe calls for sriracha. Sherri, my lovely and wonderful wife who has very few flaws in all of the world, does not like hot stuff.
I don't.
At all.
Right, so what we're gonna do is not put the sriracha in the sauce. We're gonna just leave it and then he can add it as he wants to his.
Perfect. So that is what is going to make the sauce. Now here is what is going to make the Pad Thai. The base of it is actually these healthy noodles that we get from Costco. They're basically like a shirataki noodle, but because they're so small, they taste just like Pad Thai noodles.
Yeah.
Like these I think are gonna be perfect in this dish. And then we have 5 ounces of butter. We've got 4 large eggs. We've got about a pound, a little over a pound of boneless, skinless chicken. You could use thighs, you could use breasts. You could also use shrimp. You could do veggie Pad Thai, totally. We've got some green onions. We don't have bean sprouts because again, Sherri's not a huge bean sprout fan.
Sorry.
We're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to this, and then we're going to crush up some peanuts to top our Pad Thai with, and then we also have some lime to squeeze on top because, yeah, and fresh cilantro. So that beautiful mix is hopefully going to make delicious keto Pad Thai.
The first thing we're going to do is actually make the sauce in a bowl.
Sure, what's the first thing you were adding over here?
First thing we're adding is a 1/4 cup of fish sauce.
Okay, now we have not cooked in fish sauce, or with fish sauce. Also, we were talking about how ridiculous this is because the lid to the fish sauce doesn't come off.
It doesn't, so we get to do a 1/4 cup like this.
This feels like it's going to take a long time.
Sure.
Hey, fish sauce people, if you stumble upon this, let us take the lid off, please. Although I will say, I imagine fish sauce is one of those things that probably you normally use like a dash for.
Yeah, probably. Next we need 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos.
There you go.
And next we need two cloves of garlic. We're just gonna do this and just sort of, that's about 1. And about 2.
No, go a little more. It's garlic, Sherri.
Okay.
Sherri, it's garlic. 1 more, Sherri.
Oh boy.
Yes. So the next thing the recipe actually calls for is a 1/4 cup of almond butter. And I have never used almond butter before. We were at the store buying it and I realized I was like, this is a totally new butter for me. I always go peanut butter, never almond butter. So very interested to see. It does, it smells good. And actually, confession, I stuck my finger in there to try it first.
What?
I know that probably seems very unlike me, Sherri.
Well.
All right, now into the sauce.
Yep, 1/4 cup. Okay, so the next thing on here is the sweetener. The recipe says 1 to 2 tablespoons of erythritol or 5 to 7 drops of stevia extract. Since we are using neither of those, we're just gonna kind of guess.
Yep.
So I'm gonna just, and I mean this is really something that we could also sprinkle on top.
That's
if
true.
We feel like we need more, so I'm gonna go for 1 tablespoon.
Of the monk fruit sweetener?
Because it is sweeter than most of the other sweeteners.
Nice. And it's actually something that we've seen done at a lot of different Pad Thai restaurants. They kind of do it differently. Some of them will give you like a little plate on the side of your Pad Thai that has like some sugar, it'll have some cilantro, it'll have like some lime, some
red pepper flakes,
yep, peanuts, that kind of thing. So there's like toppings. So just like Sherri said, it's perfect. Like if this isn't sweet enough, sprinkle a little bit on top.
So now we're just gonna mix it all together.
Okay. I'm gonna be very honest with everybody, Sherri. I'm not terribly optimistic that this is going to taste like pad thai. I so badly want it to.
I really want it to as well. I'm hoping, I'm a little bit, maybe not worried, I guess, but concerned about the almond butter versus like a peanut sauce.
Sure.
I'm just not sure how this is gonna work. Like even consistency, it's a little weird, but maybe cooked into everything, it's gonna be fine. So we'll see.
Let's hope. Try a little bit. Okay.
What do you think?
I could see this working.
Yeah?
It
smells good.
It's a little fishy from the fish sauce. The almond butter actually is pretty good. Now, I'm keeping in mind that we still have like a lot of flavors to add, right? We're gonna add egg in there. We're gonna add like lots of different stuff in there. Also, why do I have an onion out in the recipe?
Oh, you said...
The recipe does not include an onion.
Okay, yeah,
okay.
No, totally.
I realized, I was like, why is there an onion over here? No onions in the recipe. If you guys saw that in the recipe board.
Well, the green onions, but not...
The green onions, but no sweet white onions. I'm a dummy. But the sauce is really good. Sherri just tried it. Sherri Beth, I'm curious.
Oh, it is good.
Right?
Yeah, it's actually a stronger flavor than I was expecting.
Me too. I thought it was going to be very subtle, and it's not.
It's good.
Also, Sherri's doing a killer job whisking over here.
Thank you.
The consistency looks really good. You want to pull the fork out so we can kind of see? Look at that. Good job, Sherri Beth.
Thanks.
So the next thing we're gonna move on to, now that Sherri has the sauce done, is what they call in the recipe the omelet. Obviously, egg in pad thai is one of the best things. There's probably a lot of different ways you could do it. I was wondering why in the world we don't just like scramble the egg up with the shirataki noodles, but that's not how it tells us to, so we're gonna follow the recipe. So the recipe calls for 4 eggs, but divide them in 2. So we're gonna have 2 eggs in one, 2 eggs in the other, and we're just gonna make like a super thin omelet here. Let me just show you. So we have 2 eggs in a bowl. I'm just gonna give them like a really quick scramble. You can see we've got our butter over here in our pan that is melting down. I think that is pretty good. Okay, now we're just gonna take our butter, just kind of spread it all around. This is a really great nonstick. It's actually an omelet pan from Calphalon that I just totally love.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Sherri Beth, what a good gift. We're just gonna take the egg in here. Now, what the recipe calls for is like a really thin, fully cooked omelet. So it tells you to kind of take this around. We're going to let this cook and just let it set up for a minute. So I'm going to turn the temperature kind of up to like medium high. And then what you're going to do is, as you see the egg cooking along the bottom, you can see it turning white along the bottom. We're just going to take and just kind of swirl it around a little bit. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get like a really thin omelet. We're not going to flip this. We're not going to do anything with this. We're just going to let this cook completely. This one is done. I'm going to turn the temperature down a little bit. And now we're just going to slide this out onto a plate, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do this all over again with 2 more eggs. That to me looks perfect. So now, there we go. Next thing is we're actually going to cut up our chicken. So I've got a little plastic covering on my cutting board here. So now what we're looking for is about 1-inch pieces of chicken. These are a little smaller than that, but just kind of like those bite-sized pieces of chicken is what you're looking for. And one of the reasons that I paid a little bit more and bought like these already cut up chicken tenders, it's just so darn easy.
Right.
Like, it's just so simple because they're already cut up in like about the size you need. So, I don't know. I'm all about convenience. Sure. Now that our chicken's all cut up, we're actually going to take the rest of our butter and we're going to use the exact same pan. Well, I'm going to use the exact same pan just because I hate dirtying more dishes that we cooked our omelets in. And this is probably about 3.5, 4 tablespoons of butter. So we're going to use all of that. So you can see most of that butter is melted. I don't want the butter that has melted to start to burn. So I'm going to go ahead and add in our chicken pieces. So the butter that's in there is going to continue to melt, obviously. And we're just going to cook these up, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. We're just going to turn them and keep flipping them. Let them get all nice and happy in that butter. If you wanted, you could add some like roasted garlic to the butter. You could add some other flavoring into this.
While the chicken is cooking, we're actually going to cut up our spring onions or green onions. We're going to roll up the omelets and cut them up as well into strips.
I'm just a big fan of like, while other things are happening, so like while the chicken's cooking, while things are baking, like use that time to do the things that you're gonna need to do in the future, or like in the future of the recipe. It just saves, I don't know, saves headache and chaos down the road. Green onions all chopped up, and I actually added another one just because Sherri and I both love green onions.
Big fans. Big fans,
and since we're using a little bit more chicken than the recipe calls for, I'm gonna use a little bit more green onions. So I'm gonna go set this over by the chicken. And actually, quick update on the chicken. You can see it's cooking pretty good. There's obviously still some pink in the middle, but we're getting there. Gosh darn it. So the next thing it says is to take our omelets and we're going to roll them. So we're rolling our omelets. Perfect.
And then it says to cut it into strips. It doesn't say how big, just strips. So
I'm going like that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sherri? Is that good?
I think that's probably pretty good.
Okay. Now I'm going to move these over to the side. And we're going to do the exact same thing with our other omelet. Also, if you were just to do this and like put some ham and cheese on the inside, that's a breakfast.
That's true.
Eggs are done. So now I'm going to do the lime. Actually, no, I'm going to roll it a little bit. Get them juices loosened up, right, Sherri?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to cut the lime into wedges.
Yeah.
Probably take the sticker off because don't want that.
Well, sure. And we both really like extra lime kind of on everything, so we're probably going to use the entire lime.
Yep. Okay, so our lime is going over there.
I can actually just eat slices of lime.
Which is super weird to me.
I love it.
I love you. It's still a little bit weird.
Yeah, okay.
And we're going to go some cilantro because we feel the same way about cilantro we do about lime.
Yep.
You just can't get enough.
Correct.
So now we're just going to chop this up.
And this cilantro smells so good. Like the second I pulled it out of the bag, I was like, oh yeah, this is like good strong cilantro.
Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. Now some people, cilantro tastes like soap. Is that correct?
I think so. I can sort of see that, I guess, but it doesn't taste like that to me. It's just really fresh and yummy, and I just always want more cilantro.
Delicious soap. Sherri Beth, how's the chicken coming?
I think it's good. I think it's done.
Okay, so now what are we gonna do?
We're gonna add the green onions and let this cook on medium-high heat for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
It's a very pretty dish.
It looks so good. Also, any dish with that much butter is okay in my book.
For sure.
So one thing that we're gonna do with our shirataki noodles is you can see there's some water in there, and actually, you guys, look at the consistency. Like, it's a pad thai noodle.
Yeah.
It's perfect. But they are a little bit, I don't want to use the word slimy because I think that's going to be off-putting to people. But there's like
kind of, yeah.
A kind of in there. So what we're going to do is we're actually opening up the pouches. And then I'm going to just like rinse them off with cold water and kind of get that consistency off them. Perfect.
We're also going to add the omelets in now to the chicken and the green onions.
Got the egg in there, got the green onions in there, got the chicken and the butter in there. Sherri's been stirring it up, doing an amazing job. Sherri's checking the recipe and she's realizing right now we might need a bigger pan.
So we have to add all of the noodles and the sauce. I mean, obviously the sauce will take up that much space. The noodles are going to take up more space than what there is available in the pan.
Well, fortunately, I got my cast iron right back here, so I'm just going to move this up and we will transfer things over here into this bad boy. So we're going to transfer pans. Didn't realize how much this recipe made. Whoa, that looks amazing. Here we add the shirataki noodles. Perfect. I'm realizing a spatula, like with flat part, might not be the best thing
Yeah, it's all right.
to use. So we're switching up the tools, people. There we go.
It's your broken
Much better. We're gonna use our broken fork. It's Sherri, we're very fancy. Sherri, don't mock us. They can't know our secrets.
Well, they can see our secrets, right?
Well,
there. Broken fork.
They've been seeing our secrets for 5.5 years on YouTube.
And they're still here, so it's fine.
And they're still here.
Yep.
Now here we go. We're gonna add the sauce to this.
Do you want to use the spatula that I was using? Or a spoon?
I'll use the spoon. We're good, Sherri. Fingers crossed. This is good.
It smells good. I will say that.
I do agree with that very much. I think it's going to be good. My question is it going to be pad thai?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Sure. Isn't that kind of the question with most things keto, though?
That's
is this
true.
going to be like good for keto, or is it actually going to be good?
Totally. And now, without a doubt, the part I've been looking forward to the most, because we don't have crushed peanuts. I look really strong right now, like really tough. Like
Well,
I'm going to a gang fight.
Sure.
With a rolling pin. It's fun. Sounds like a fun gang fight.
Sure.
I get to crush peanuts because we don't have crushed peanuts. So we do have normal peanuts. I put them in a baggie here. I have my rolling pin. Now I'm just gonna beat the crap out of them.
Okay.
You ready, Sherry?
Yeah.
Basically, treat these peanuts like they owe you money. Right?
Wow.
Look at that.
Nice.
Perfect.
I like it.
So I think that this is done. Again, like Sherry mentioned earlier, we love lime. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna squeeze a couple things of lime here in this while it's still cooking, and then we will also add more lime to the top of this.
Yeah.
Based on like our preference.
It does say you can add salt and pepper to taste. We kind of took a little bit of a taste of it. With the fish sauce in there, it's pretty salty already.
Yep, I agree.
So I don't think we want to add any more salt. I don't know that pepper is really like the flavor we're going for here. So we're going lime. We might add a little bit more of that monk fruit. We'll see.
Okay, Sherry, I want you to tell me first, how does it look?
I'm not mad at how it looks.
How does it smell?
It smells really good.
Okay, now for the most important thing of the entire meal.
How does it taste?
I was gonna say the limes.
Oh, well.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. How does it taste? I have already added my lime. And so I am gonna take the first bite while Sherry finishes hers. To the top of mine, I added peanuts, I added cilantro, I added lime, I added a little bit more sweetener. And so here we go. Please be pad thai.
I'm not mad at that.
Interesting. Okay. We're gonna have some thoughts, but we're gonna eat first because we're hungry. So we're gonna eat, we'll come back, we'll wrap it up, we'll tell you our thoughts on this keto pad thai. I'm not mad though. Okay, Sherry Beth, keto pad thai. A recipe that we've wanted to try for a long time. We have done it, we've tried it, we've made it, and the verdict is...
It was good.
Okay.
I think that if somebody had just said, here, try a bite of this, I would have said, ooh, this is good. What is it?
Yeah, you wouldn't naturally know it was
I would
pad
have said,
thai.
oh, this is pad thai. It didn't have that. But it, like, as a dish, it was good.
I agree. If I ordered pad thai at a restaurant and they brought me this, I would send it back.
I feel like there is something wrong with this.
Because it's not pad thai. Sherry hit the nail on the head. It's good. Whatever it is, it's good. A couple thoughts though. So we looked up kind of what is in a traditional pad thai, and one of the main ingredients that really is required is tamarind. And it makes sense because when you think of the color of normal pad thai, that's one of the things this did not have.
Right.
Apparently tamarind is high in carbs though, from what we looked at. And so I'm not sure that we could make like a traditional pad thai. So I feel like the sauce was different. The noodles were also a little bit different, right?
Yeah, I mean the noodles just naturally are a little mushier than like the pad thai noodle that you would want.
Yep, a pad thai noodle like kind of holds together a little bit, right? Whereas becomes mushy. It doesn't hold its shape, so it kind of becomes just like mushy. I don't know a better word.
Yeah.
I thought the chicken was great. I thought the green onion was great. I thought the egg was great.
The dish really altogether was good. Like,
it was good.
I think I would make this again. I think I would eat it again. It just, to me, didn't seem really like pad thai.
Did it, because we've both been craving pad thai. Do you feel like it like scratched that pad thai itch?
Not really, because it didn't really taste like pad thai.
Me neither. But I liked it. This to me was a success. Super glad I tried it. Again, a lot of our keto journey and a lot of this is about like just trying new things.
Right, yeah.
And getting comfortable in the kitchen and just like being more adventurous and not getting stuck in the same food and recipe ruts that we always do.
Right.
And so now we can say, you know what, we're on keto, but we tried pad thai and we ended up with a recipe that actually like it wasn't that bad.
Right, yep.
It's not pad thai, but it's not that bad. So friends, we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us here in the kitchen as we made dinner tonight.
Yeah.
We're so thankful that you guys have been such a support and encouragement to us on this keto and health journey. And we love you so much, and we'll see you on the next LeggLife video.